Be honest, you've been wondering, why don't I feel God like before? You pray, but feel nothing. You worship, but it's dry. You go to church, but you leave the same. Something's wrong, but no one's telling you what. You didn't lose God. You picked up a habit that's slowly killing your fire. And the scary part? You've gotten used to the numbness. But today, God's about to expose what's been choking your spirit so you can feel Him again. It's not some deep sin, not an obvious rebellion. It's something subtle, something silent. It's distraction. Luke 10:39-40. Martha was distracted by all the preparations, but Mary sat at the Lord's feet. You're not far from God. You're just full of noise, notifications, podcasts, endless scrolling. You've trained your mind for stimulation, not stillness. And now the secret place feels boring because your spirit's been overstimulated. Distraction doesn't just waste time, it drains fire and kills intimacy. That one habit, your constant digital noise, is making your soul deaf to God. You think the devil's plan is to make you fall, but sometimes all he needs is for you to scroll, not into sin, just into apathy, into distraction, into nothing. Ephesians 5:15-16 says, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity." He's not trying to shock you. He's trying to numb you. Because if your spirit goes quiet long enough, you'll stop noticing it's dying. The devil doesn't always attack your fire. Sometimes he just fills your life with so much noise, you never light the match. And you call it normal, but it's spiritual warfare with a screen. You're not just tired. You're not just in a season. You're spiritually numb. And numbness is not safe. It's not neutral. It's deadly. Revelation 2:4-5. You have forsaken the love you had at first. Consider how far you have fallen. You think you're surviving, but your altar is empty. Your lamp has no oil. Your heart has no flame. You keep waiting to feel God, but God is waiting for you to fight for Him. The longer you live numb, the less you'll remember what it was like to burn. But deep down, your soul is still crying out. It's time to wake up. The fire didn't die overnight. It faded slowly, quietly, because you stopped guarding what kept it alive. Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. You open the door to distractions, then let them sit at the center of your attention. You stop being jealous for your time with God. You used to wake up and pray. Now, you wake up and scroll. You used to cry and worship. Now, you just tap next. The altar didn't break. You just left it unattended. And every fire left unguarded eventually burns out. You want revival, but keep living the same way? God won't set fire to a schedule that never makes room for Him. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Your routine is feeding your apathy, and what you repeat, you eventually believe. Break the pattern. Interrupt the scroll. Change your rhythm. Revival isn't magic, it's movement. It starts the moment you say, "God, you get the first part of my day again." Not your phone, not the world, Him. You don't need a new playlist. You need a new priority. God doesn't compete for your attention, but He does withdraw when He's constantly replaced. Matthew 6:33. But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Your peace? It's connected to your priorities. Your clarity? Tied to your focus. When you give God your leftovers, don't be surprised when you feel spiritually starved. The fire returns the moment He becomes first again. First in your morning, first in your thoughts, first in your love. You want to feel God again? But are you willing to surrender again? Not just your sin, but your schedule, your comfort, your preferences. James 4:8 says, "Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you." You don't drift into fire, you walk into it on purpose, with open hands. What are you still clinging to? The habit? The noise? The excuse? You won't feel God by chasing a moment. You'll feel Him by choosing surrender. The fire doesn't fall on perfection, it falls on altars. You think you've gone too far? That it's too late? That the fire can't come back? But God isn't finished with you. He's just waiting for your yes. Philippians 1:6. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. If you're still breathing, you're still called, still chosen, still pursued. The enemy's greatest lie is convincing you it's over when heaven is still writing your story. You're one act of surrender away from feeling the warmth again. So don't quit now. The breakthrough you've been begging for is closer than it feels. Don't wait for a conference, a worship night, or a viral reel. The presence of God is here, now, in this moment. Psalm 145:18. The Lord is near to all who call on Him, to all who call on Him in truth. Close your eyes, put the phone down, and whisper His name. You've run from the fire long enough. Now it's time to return to the flame. Play this. God, I've been numb, I've been distracted, but I want you more than anything else. Set my heart on fire again. Type in the comments, He's first again. Share this with someone whose fire is dying, because this moment could change everything. And next time the numbness comes, you'll know what to do.